Now, last but not least, we have the type 2X or type 2B. You know, they typically they're interchangeable. They're both, you know, you may see both of them get used. So you got type 2X or type 2B. Now, those are what's known as your white muscle fibers. As you can see in the diagram that I placed in there, you can see the white fibers as opposed to the red. And what happens when, you know, your muscles, your slow twitch muscles are targeted versus when your type 2 muscles, your fast twitch muscles are targeted. You can see the difference between the two in that diagram. But your type 2X is FT, which again is fast twitch, right? That's what that stands for. But now, instead of it being FOG, it's just FG, fast glycolytic. So what that means is this pathway specifically is used for intense and short burst exercises, meaning carbs will be your main source of energy for this one. So this is of the anaerobic type. Remember, I mentioned anaerobic exercises, anything in short burst, right? Anything that's high intense and short burst. You know, this has a very fast contraction, which in turn results in faster fatigue, which, if you think about it, makes sense, right? When you go sprinting, you know, sprinting is different than if you were to just run a marathon, right? You can only sprint for so long before you eventually, you know, have to slow down a little bit, or, you know, you just kind of maybe stop and take a walk. You know, sprints are usually only done in short bursts. Okay. Same thing with heavy weightlifting, right? When you're heavy weightlifting versus, you know, lifting lighter weights, usually when you lift lighter weights, you can do a little bit more, right? Your muscles don't fatigue as fast. But when you're doing heavy weights, though, heavier weights that's heavy to you, that your body doesn't necessarily, it's not really used to yet, that's, you know, your muscles will fatigue faster. So that's basically what that means, right? Your type 2B muscles or type 2X, either way, they fatigue faster because you're doing a workout or an exercise that essentially will force them to fatigue faster. Some of the other exercises we have are squat jumps, which I've mentioned, you know, for the type 2A, and then anything like throwing, right? So maybe axe throwing or throwing a medicine ball, you know, basically anything explosive, which is what I put in the asterisk there. Anything explosive that's anaerobic, which of course is going to target your fast twitch muscles, the type 2X specifically. Now, with this one, I already kind of touched it, but carbs are the primary source, right? What happens is with the fast glycolytic muscle fiber, it will use the glycolysis method, which is basically, you know, tearing into your glycogen stores and breaking those open in order to produce glucose.